Hey, good morning from beautiful Southern Nevada. I don't know how beautiful that is to you, but I certainly like it. Hey, listen, this video is for the person that just went out there and bought a brand new 38 Special, or maybe you're thinking about buying one and you just need some pointers. I'll tell you what, you came to the right place. You know why? One, I bought my first revolver back in 1977. So that was, what, 45 years ago? Been shooting these guys for 45 years. I've had a lot of law enforcement training where we actually carried revolvers. Yes, a long time ago. I've done a lot of competition shooting with these things. So, again, you did come to the right place. I have 4 different brands here that we're going to look at. I have Charter Arms, Smith & Wesson, Taurus, Rock Island. Unfortunately, I don't have a Ruger, but Ruger makes a good revolver. So does Kimber, Colt. Just a lot of good ones out there. But we're going to go over a few of these, and then we're going to come back and talk about safety. All right, revolver number 1. This is a Smith & Wesson model 642. And it is a 5-shot, double action only. You'll notice there's no hammer on it. Let's just take a close look here. Barrel length on this is 1 7/8, and it is rated for plus P ammo. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. Made in the USA. This is the airweight model, which means the frame is aluminum, so it's actually very light, and we'll weigh it here in a few minutes. But so the frame's aluminum, but the barrel, the cylinder release, all stainless steel. I bought this about 3 years ago, just before the pandemic hit, and I paid about $350 for it. Today, a brand new one is going to run you about $500. And this one here is a Charter Arms Undercover 38 Special. I picked this one up 3 or 4 months ago. I haven't even shot it yet. This is an older model. This is a Gen 1, and it was made in Stratford, Connecticut. And this one was made in the mid 80s, 83, 84. And really, like I said, I haven't shot it yet, but man, I just love the feel of this. 5-shot, double action, single action. So, single action pull on it is really smooth and light. I really like that. Double action, smooth, not bad at all. I'll tell you what, like I said, I haven't shot it, so I'm anxious to put some rounds through this. Barrel length on this one is 1 7/8 inches. A new one today will run you about $350. Next, we have the Rock Island Armory model 206. Barrel length on this one is 2 1/8 inches. Take a close look here. Model 206, caliber 38 Special. Rock Island. Now this one's kind of rough. And these run about $250, so it's the least expensive revolver that I have. But you know what? Shoots really good. This is a copy of the old Colt Detective Special. Holds 6 rounds. Double action, single action. This did come with 2 sets of grips. Came with these orange wooden grips. And these hard plastic grips. Again, this is a single action and double action. Single action really not bad on this. Double action is really quite short, a little heavy, but not too bad. But you know what? These run about $250, and I like this one so much that I bought its big brother. This is the model 200. Exact same gun, except this one has a 4-inch barrel compared to the 2-inch. These are made in the Philippines. And really a good value for the money. Model 206. This one is actually stainless with a black finish on it. I forget what Taurus calls it, but again, it is all stainless. This one has a 3-inch barrel, holds 6 rounds, and this one does have a tritium night sight on it. Now normally these run around $300, but this one was $350, mainly because of the front sight. I really like shooting this one. Single action, it's a little heavy. Double action, also a little heavy, but it's smooth, feels good in the hand, and just really enjoy shooting this one. And no, this one is not made in Georgia. This one is actually made in Brazil. All right, and there you have it. All right, let's talk about Plus P ammo just for a moment. Plus P is actually loaded a little bit hotter than standard 38 special ammunition. I think it's like 10 or 15% more energy and velocity than a standard load, but this here is a 125 grain jacketed hollow point, so I'm gonna shoot a few of these. I don't have too many of them left. I will definitely shoot a few out of the Smith & Wesson. As far as the Rock Island says don't use Plus P unless necessary, so won't shoot it out of that one. Charter Arms says you can shoot Plus P, but they don't recommend it, so I won't shoot any out of this one either. Alright, let's go ahead and weigh these. Smith & Wesson, 15.1 ounces. Charter Arms, 1 pound, 1.7 ounces. Rock Island, 1 pound, 9.1 ounces. Okay, the Taurus, 1 pound, 7.4 ounces. Okay, we're going to go over safety. Now, there's a lot of safety rules when you buy a handgun. Read the owner's manual, because it will probably have a list of safety rules that you should follow, and we're going to cover 3 of them. 3 very important safety rules. Rule number 1, always treat every gun as if it's loaded, okay? I know this gun is unloaded, but I'm not going to swing it around and point it at my son over here. Again, all guns are always loaded. Just never point a gun at anybody unless it's a self-defense situation, okay? Safety rule number 2, keep your finger off the trigger until your sights are on target. So, when you draw that gun, your finger should not be on that trigger until you come up on target, and then you can put your finger on the trigger. Don't pull that out of the holster with your finger on the trigger. You're just asking to be shot in the leg or in the foot. Safety rule number 3, be sure of your target, what's around it and what's behind it. You know, you're responsible for every single round that you fire. So again, just be aware of the surrounding area and what is behind your target, okay? Again, read that owner's manual and get to know every safety rule in the book and follow them. Another thing I want to cover real quick, eye and ear protection, okay? Make sure you have glasses on, either shooting glasses or, like me, prescription glasses. You definitely want to protect your eyes, okay? Hearing protection. I always have earplugs in when I'm shooting. Sometimes I have earmuffs on, but again, eye and ear protection, very important, guys. All right, let's go over something real quick before you even load this up and start shooting it, okay? You got home with your new revolver. The first thing I recommend you do, well, learn safety rules. The second thing I want you to do is I want you to take your unloaded gun. Now make sure there's no ammunition anywhere in the area. Go out in the garage, go into a room where you're in there by yourself so you won't be distracted. But take your new revolver and just, like my son says, make love to it. Just get to learn the ins and outs of your revolver. Open it up, spin the cylinder, work the ejector, point it in a safe direction, of course. Dry fire it. You're not going to hurt your revolver dry firing it unless it's a .22 revolver. Then read the instruction manual, because most of them you cannot dry fire. But just practice aiming, pulling that trigger. Try your single action. You know, there's a lot to shooting a revolver. You have sight alignment, trigger control, breathing, stance, follow through. And I'm not going to cover a lot of that today, but I will direct it to one of my other videos called Beginner's Guide to Pistol Shooting, How to Become an Expert. That will cover sight alignment and a lot of stuff that I think you will find interesting. I'll put a link to that video in the description or at the very end of this video. That video has 2.4 million views on it, by the way, and for a reason. You will learn a lot from that. So again, just get to know that revolver before you even shoot it for the first time. Yeah, I like this one. All right, let's actually do a little shooting here, okay? Now, if you don't have any shooting experience or very little, I recommend setting a target up at about 3 or 4 yards. If you have some shooting experience, and if you want to move back to 7 or 8 yards, that's fine, but we're going to start off at about 4 yards, assuming that most of you have never shot a revolver before. And I also recommend just load 1 round, okay? Now, if you look at this Smith & Wesson, I can see which way the cylinder is going to turn when I pull the trigger. So I'm going to take 1 round and put it at the 1 o'clock position and close the cylinder. Now when I cycle this, it's going to fire this 1 round, okay? Just come up, line up your sights, and bam! Immediately take your revolver and unload it, okay? What you want to do is point that muzzle straight up, hit the ejector, and let gravity pop those cases out, okay? And just do that a couple times. Get used to the recoil and the feel of the revolver. Take your time, line up those sights, and pull the trigger. Okay, this time I have 5 rounds in my speed loader. Loads up very quick, very fast. This time I'm going to fire 5 rounds, and I recommend, if you're going to fully load this, fire all 5 rounds until you empty the revolver. And again, go nice and slow. Unload. And there you have it. Let's do that one more time. You know what? I'm going to put 5 rounds through this little Charter Arms. I have not shot this yet, so kind of anxious to put a few rounds. So 5 rounds, and I'm going to fire 3 rounds. What I'm going to do now, finger off the trigger and reholster. What I don't want to do is swing around to the cameraman with a loaded gun and say, hey, look at my target. Keep it pointed downrange, reholster, okay? Now I still have 2 rounds in here, so now I'm going to face my target, draw and fire my other 2 rounds. Finger off the trigger, come up, fire, unload. Yeah, I like this one. Ammunition. You know, if you come out just to target practice or just do a little plinking, have a little fun, you know, full metal jacket ammo is just fine to practice with, but if you're going to carry for self-defense, I highly recommend hollow point ammunition. A hollow point bullet, when it goes into a target, it's going to expand, slow down, and hopefully stop before it comes out. So your chances of hitting an innocent bystander are greatly reduced with hollow point ammo. If you have to use your gun in a self-defense situation, don't fire 1 round and see what happens. I've received a lot of law enforcement training, and I've always been taught to fire 2 rounds center of mass. Just like that, okay? 2 rounds center of mass. The reason for that is usually 1 round is not going to stop somebody. They catch 2 rounds center of mass, that's almost always going to stop your attacker. And I do have 1 round left. It's another thing you might practice too is one-handed shooting. You know, most self-defense situations happen very close, anywhere from a few inches to a couple of yards. So it's very important that you practice your double action shooting, okay? Most likely that's what you're going to use if you have to use self-defense. And once you get a little training in, you might try different positions, shooting from the hip. If you do, make sure your offhand is out of the way so you can pull that trigger. And do this with a lot of dry firing first, okay? You could come up, shoot like this, step back. But the main thing is try and get a little distance between you and the attacker so he can't grab your revolver. Step back and fire 2 rounds minimum. Now, a lot of people think a 2-inch revolver just is not accurate, and that's just really not the case. So I have my son out here. We're going to set up some more targets, and we'll show you how accurate these little 2-inch revolvers can actually be.
All right, here we go. Oh yeah.
Hey, real quick, if you're going to fire plus P ammo, just be aware it does have a little more recoil than a standard 38 special cartridge.
Oh.
Well, guys, I hope my video was able to help you with deciding maybe on what type of... Well, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. Make sure you hit that like button if you liked what you've seen. Subscribe, and we'll see you next time. One last question for my son. Son, what do you think of a 2-inch snub-nosed revolver?
I do love shooting a good revolver.